Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. This will never change. Whatever day of Brahma it is, whoever the Brahma is, Brahma changes. Brahma changes after the Nitya Naimittika destruction. Nitya Naimittika. And at the end of the life of Brahma, the Brahma has to change. And the total destruction would be the liberation of a soul. But one of the destructions is at the end of the life of the Brahma. So those Brahmas may change, but this truth, Govinda, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. This truth does not change. Not today, not tomorrow, not Brahma's day. And any change in this Brahmanda will not affect this truth that Govinda here, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda. So Krishna, that he is Ishvara Parama Krishna, that does not change. That we belong to Krishna, that truth doesn't change. Whatever our mood might be, we might accept or not. Mamayvamse Jivaloka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. That truth does not change. So that Ishvara Parama Krishna is giving the darshan. What else is Brahma Samhita saying? Describing about that Ishvara. Ekopyasau rachayatam jagadanda kotim yashyaktirasti jagadanda chayaya dantaha andantarasta paramanu chayantarastam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami yadbhava bhavitatthiyo manujastathaiva Samprapya rupa mahimasanayana bhushaha Suktairyameva nigamah pratitaistuvanti Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitabhis Thabiryayeva nijarupataya kalabhihi Golokayeva nivasati akhilatma bhuto Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. That's Govinda. Govinda. So that's Govinda, who is Ishvara Paramakrishna. And the very same Ishvara Paramakrishna is in the Nama is being given by the Guru Tattva. And yes, being given by Guru Tattva. But when we are hearing the Shastra or Sadhuvani, we process that information, what we have heard, depending on what mood we are in. It's the same information. It's the same Shastra, same Sadhuvani. But based on what mode we are in, we process it and it affects it. The effect will be accordingly. What are those modes that we are affected with? These modes are everywhere. Like, the air and ether is present everywhere. Inside the body, outside the body. These modes are like energies, right? This energy is present everywhere. Sometimes the energy that is within us is very sinking. the body feels that sinking weight. The mind feels the sinking weight. Doesn't want to get up, doesn't want to do anything. That's the body. That's what body says, feels when it is in the sinking energy. And the mind feels very heavy. Mind feels, all the unpleasant, inflicting thoughts come, sadness, moroseness. When the mind is in the sinking energy, then all the negative thoughts come, unpleasant thoughts come, and hurt. The body also feels heavy, lazy, hurtful. That is sinking energy. And when there is rushing energy in the body, the mind rushes. We can't wait. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, udara vegam, upashta vegam, yetan vegam, vega, rushing. And that is passionate, rajasic energy. And if the energy is kind of balanced, and then we don't really feel so much rushed and so much pushed down, sinking down. But the balanced energy is sattva energy. So that energy, balanced energy, is sattva energy. So Bhagavad Gita says this one, 14th chapter, 10th sloka. Rajas tamas chabhibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata. Rajas sattvam tamas chaiva tamas sattvam rajas tadha. This rajas and tamas, then sattvam, they compete. Sometimes rajoguna, pushing energy, is more in us. Sometimes sinking energy is more. And sometimes the energy can be balanced. So when the energy is little balanced within us, then that state is called sattva, balanced energy. So this constantly happens in all of us. The proportion of and the intensity, that changes from each one of us, but this constantly happens in all of us. The competition of each guna, that is always there, and that's why we feel differently. Sometimes balanced, sometimes rushy, sometimes sinking, like that. Then, what is Srila Prabhupada saying? That these modes, it is natural that one may get affected by these three modes. So, when the mode of passion is prominent, mode of goodness and ignorance are defeated. When the mode of goodness is prominent, when the mode of passion is prominent, mode of goodness and ignorance, goodness and ignorance defeated. And when the mode of ignorance is prominent, passion and goodness are defeated. So this competition is always going on. Therefore, one who is actually intent on advancing in Krishna consciousness has to transcend these three modes. Okay, when we transcend these three modes, it's not so much that we can transcend. When we take shelter of Krishna, then we are automatically transcended. This is what the descending energy means. That's very wonderful. But Srila Prabhupada also says this. But if one wants, he can develop by practice the mode of goodness and thus defeat the modes of ignorance and passion. So it is like this, dear devotees. The descending mercy means all that we in the Shastra and all this pure devotion is simply descending mercy. When our faith is big, and when we hold on to the lotus feet of Lord Hari or instruction of Sadhu Vani, and that has the capacity to pull us out of these modes. And this is what is being emphasized in most part of our Shastra. But what if our faith is not so big? What if the sinking energy is bothering us so much, and pushing energy is also bothering us so much, that we are caught up in these energies and are unable to receive the descending mercy as given? Then what can we do? Then what Srila Prabhupada is saying here, he says, by practice. So, by practice, by cultivating, he's saying, if one wants, he can develop by practice the mode of goodness and thus defeat the modes of ignorance and passion. This is the clue. This is on this formula, on this basis, all every technique and method under the sky, other than descending the mercy, is based on this formula of self-improvement. And some devotees, even though they are not devotees, doesn't believe. There are international organizations who don't really necessarily believe in the God, but they are focused on cultivating sattva, that they become like, they become peacemakers. And we wonder, there is no God element here. They are international peacemakers. How are they getting to that state? Because they voluntarily cultivate sattva. This is the principle. This is the principle. So, for us, practical application of us is, it is very natural that we feel that sinking energy, rushing energy. Most of the time we feel like that. Then what do? Voluntarily cultivate. Voluntarily cultivate. Choose the thought and action that brings us to the balance. That's not easy. When we say sattva, it can sound very intimidating. Oh my God, that's so hard. Being steady all the time. Having integrity when the modes are hitting. How can I be all that? But one beautiful quality that is there in sattva is kindness, dear devotees. Kindness. Say, if somebody is inflicting us outside, hurting us, then it may not be easy to patience, tolerance. These are very much advocated because these are all sattva. Being kind to the other person is not easy, especially when they're hurting us. Yeah. And also when our thoughts are coming from within, if we are choosing to be kind to us, entertain only those thoughts that are kind to us, that are not inflicting us. And let the other thoughts which are inflicting us not entertain anything that is negative to us, unpleasant to us, hurtful to us, or hurtful to others. That is the so-called international technique in this peacemaking, empathic communication, non-violent communication. This is really the key point. And this is very useful for all of us, especially to cultivate. That way the energy becomes balanced in us. When we constantly choose those thoughts and deeds that are kind to us and kind to others. What happens is, when we're constantly doing it, we are bringing down the disturbance within us. Even if it is sinking energy, that's a disturbance. Pushing energy is a disturbance. both of that can cause unpleasantness in us and others too. But voluntarily choosing to be kind to us, very important, kind to us. Without being kind to us, we cannot be kind to others. We have to be kind to ourselves. We should not be inflicting upon us. Yeah. So, voluntarily choosing to be kind to us and ourselves is cultivating sattva. The easiest way is to choose this kindness. And then, of course, the integrity is there in sattva. When we are choosing to be kind to ourselves and to others, naturally the patience and tolerance also is included in that, in being kind to ourselves. That's the beauty of it. So in this way, cultivation of sattva can bring that balanced energy, balanced within us, and then the descending mercy is more available at that time because we are not so much agitated. Descending mercy is already there, all the time it is there, but it is more available when we are not so much agitated from within. And how not to agitate, not get agitated or come to that state of less agitation. It's like this, cultivating that sattva and chiefly choosing to be kind to our own self and others. In our thought is very powerful energy. It can cause so much of the chemical reactions change in the body, in the mind. Very powerful energy with the thought. So choosing to be kind can change the whole thing in our body and mind and in others also. So that is cultivating sattva. Yes, dear devotees. And so coming to the descending energy, how is the descending energy